EP05, the podcast. It's Nick Growall here. Next to me is Taryn Sherwood. We have just finished filming some short films this weekend, so Taryn is, how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awake are you? Okay. Next to him is Corey Williams. He's actually the scriptwriter for the movies, and you can tell by his...
Oh, I was just making a noise.
Yeah, so...
I don't even remember what the scripts were about. I'm assuming they were great, though, if I wrote them.
Right. Next to him is Isaac.
Hello.
And next to him is Tommy Williamson, also known as Lavender Savage.
Oh, hi everyone.
Hi. So, we'll start off again with our weekend box office roundup. The movie that we all expected to probably get first place got first place.
What was that?
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
What was the total?
Yeah.
The total was 81 million.
Good God.
That's
With a possible 4-day weekend of 91 million.
God.
That's a lot of lonely people.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
It's a lot of old women.
An interesting fact that got pointed out, it is not the biggest opening of February. That goes to...
American Sniper.
No,
right?
no.
Oh, really?
That is Passion of the Christ.
Yes!
Yes!
At 83 million still.
Yes!
Still,
Wait, I thought...
still reigning, defending champion of the February box office. Opening weekend.
Jesus. Our Lord and Savior.
Lord Savior Christ.
Which a film about bondage is close second. So
just think about that.
We haven't gone to hell yet.
February is a weird,
well,
it's a weird month.
people in February, I guess, just want to see people get hurt.
I guess. Maybe.
Oh. And for that, we are going to hell.
And there it is.
There it
Well,
is.
nope, I'm not.
Fun,
I was rooting
but,
for Jesus.
Unexpectedly, 2 members of the table went to watch the movie yesterday.
Yes.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Isaac and Tommy went to go watch 50 Shades of Grey.
We drew straws.
So tell us, gentlemen, what was your reaction?
It wasn't that bad.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea what the movie's even about. I just know it's...
A dude sent to bondage, picks up this innocent girl, and they fall in love.
Well,
That was a book? Like...
That was a book.
Yeah, that was a book.
It was like 3
They're
books,
making
wasn't it?
It's going to be a trilogy.
It's a trilogy.
Yeah, it's going to be a trilogy.
It's
Are
the
they
new
gonna split
Twilight.
the second or the third one into 2? Like...
Right, it's the new Twilight, which is it's actually a fan fiction based off of Twilight.
Oh, wow.
So this is like the first major motion picture based on a fan fiction.
So, like, you're telling me, like erotic fan fiction? Like,
Yes.
people
Yeah.
are writing, like literary porn about vampires, and somehow this turned into...
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was the movie overall? Would you
Overall, the main girl, who Dakota Johnson,
say?
I think,
Yeah.
has a great butt.
Okay.
That's what you got out of it.
That's pretty much
the male
all I got.
demographic. In case you're wondering,
She's got a great
Nice.
butt.
Dakota's
butt.
butt is exceptional.
It had really good music the
Yeah,
whole
the music,
time.
yeah.
The whole time
Soundtrack?
you were like, "This is a good song."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. How did you feel about the guy who played the main character?
I absolutely hate his haircut. Like, I hate his hair.
Does that mean you also hate him?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Just his hair.
Yeah, just his hair. I absolutely hated his
How
hair.
about the movies surrounding the butts and the hair and the music? Was that...
Well, it was really pretty. It was shot well.
Like it was
Go
there
ahead.
was like a few flaws in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple. I mean,
Okay.
like just in a story sense, there's a couple of plot holes. But I mean, for spoilers' sake, I'm not gonna dive into that hole.
Is there spoilers?
for your for your broad rating,
Is there a swerve at the end?
Yes, yeah. Out of nowhere, Stone Cold steps in.
Okay.
What
Well,
a twist!
out of 10, what would you give it?
I'd give it a solid 6.5.
Solid 6.5. Isaac?
5 or 6.
A 5 or 6. So not terrible, but not amazing.
Yeah.
If like Walmart had a special deal where you could buy a really good movie and then have this movie for free,
Yeah.
I would totally do it.
Okay.
Like, wait, hold on. How pornographic is the movie? Because me and Nick had an argument like a year and a half ago, and this got announced that like there's no way you can make this watchable.
It didn't really push it
yeah.
didn't push it at all. It
Didn't push the envelope. Like not once do you actually see any genitalia.
And is that why
You
it's
just
getting
see
like
her
fan
butt.
backlash? Because like the
It's not
hard
enough.
book people, like
We demand more.
they didn't go hardcore enough.
Not really.
like the guy that plays Christian Grey. I don't
Yeah.
even remember the actor.
I just know that he was on Once Upon a Time, like season 1.
Yeah, he had it in his contract that his penis would not once be shown in the movie at all.
Then how do you cast that guy in like
Sounds like he's not committed to this
literary
role.
porn? Yeah, it's like listen.
Well, I mean,
this
you
is-
also never see Dakota's vagina except for like a split second. You see full bush, and that's pretty much it.
Before we get into
Is that the first time we've said either of those words?
I believe
I think so.
surprisingly, that's the first time.
I'm glad it was me.
Oh, damn. I'm going to have to make that Kevin James graphic, aren't I?
No.
No.
Kevin James.
No.
You need Kevin James to go halfway and then leave backwards real quick.
Just nope.
But number 2 in the box office was Kingsman, that comedy about it's like James Bond
I've
for
seen tons of previews
for
and
the
no idea what it's
millennials.
about.
Yeah.
I just know Samuel L. Jackson.
It's like James Bond for millennials, where it's an academy for training agents for the British group.
Based on a comic book.
Based on a comic book. My funny story, my parents went to watch it last night for Valentine's Day.
Did they make out?
Probably a mistake. Mistake for them to go watch that. I was like, from now on, you probably should ask me before you walk into a movie theater.
Or me. I would have suggested 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, there was almost a part where he actually said, "I'm 50 Shades of Grey."
Did
He
you
almost
yell?
said it.
Did you yell like he said it?
He would have,
Yeah,
but
yeah, he didn't say grey. He said 50 Shades of, well, a swear word.
effed up.
Yeah, 50 Shades of effed up.
He almost said it!
I actually whispered that to Isaac. I said, he almost said it.
Oh, man. Oh, anyways, so
But-
Kingsman got 2.
Yeah, Kingsman got 2, then SpongeBob was 3, and then down the line you had Jupiter Ascending and the others. But American Sniper reached the 300 million mark.
Impressive.
Yes, impressive for an Oscar movie. It's an Oscar season.
It's not going to win now.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Now they're like, guys, we got to back out. We got to back out now. But moving on from there, now there's also been a few trailers released this week. We'll open up with Camilo. How do you say his name?
Who?
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
It's Spanish
Guillermo.
for William.
Gotcha. Del Toro, his new movie, Crimson Peak, starring Tom Hiddleston and
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam from Sons of Anarchy fame.
I think Ern Gorman's in it, too.
That Mia was, however you say her name.
Marion
All these-
Cotillard?
No. Mia Wazowska or whatever. She was
Alice.
in Alice. Yes,
She's Alice from Alice in Wonderland.
And we also had Jessica Chastain. So,
Right.
yes.
Is Burton Gorman in this, or am I mistaken?
I don't see a Bird
I
Gorman.
mean, he would probably. He's Pacific Rim. He was the nerdy guy, and he was in Dark Knight Rising.
Okay.
Hmm.
But
Also,
yeah,
the nerdy guy.
what were your thoughts on that trailer?
It looks great.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
I'm game for it.
I watched
far,
half
so
of
good.
it and was all
We
for it.
we really should have just started recording as Corey was watching the trailer because
His reaction was,
we should
I
just
think I said, "Oh, Tom Hiddleston." Oh, Charlie Hunnam, and then it said Guillermo del Toro. And I turned it off. I was like, "I'm in. Let's do it."
20 seconds into the trailer, Corey's sold.
we probably should start a YouTube series of just filming you watching trailers for the first time.
Maybe.
Like 30-second little things.
I don't even know what it's about, but I'm in.
But
Guillermo del Toro
apparently
is
Tom
yet to make a
Hiddleston-
bad movie.
Apparently, Tom Hiddleston marries the Alice in Wonderland girl, and then brings her to where he lives with his sister, and
So Asgard?
so weird weird things happen, and horror stuff ensues. So
So it's Lovecraftian.
yeah. So everyone's pretty excited about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It looks
Can't wait.
interesting. Yeah, that's definitely worth a watch. I mean, and it is Del Toro. I mean, he has yet to really have a misfire of sorts.
No, he's done
from
well.
Hellboy to I can't even think. Pan's Labyrinth, and then what was the one recently that the robots one?
Pacific Rim.
Pacific Rim.
And then he was an actor in Guardians of the Galaxy.
they're called Jaegers.
Jaegers, excuse me.
Nick?
Jaegers. Wannabe Power Rangers, but continue.
I read an interview today by Guillermo talking about Pacific Rim 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little unexcited.
Why is that?
He said it's not going to have kaijus.
So,
He said it's just more about like where the Jaeger program goes after.
So Jaeger Fight Club?
Like, because like years later they find a different use for them. Maybe aliens. Who knows?
Are the kaiju not alien?
Yeah, that was kind of...
I don't know.
They're from a different dimension,
He said he's taking it down a different route.
Okay.
So-
All right.
Huh.
I guess that's...
It's actually secretly Cloverfield too.
Which is really just Guillermo del Toro saying this is what I want to do with it, but then some studios will get involved and said, no, we're gonna have monsters.
We need to sell toys of
Yeah.
kaijus.
No,
There's
gonna
a
be
lot of those in stock still. We need you to make those more interesting. But after that, we also have Straight Out of Compton.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about
It
Straight
looks-
Outta Compton.
if-
Don't put of in there.
Straight Out of Compton. Sorry.
Slap Nick across the head.
You white guy.
Straight Out of Compton. Now tell me, but if Tanner was here, he would be jumping up and down in his seat in excitement.
I'm so excited. I'm thinking about flying to L.A. in August just to watch it with Tanner.
So,
And to see it in L.A. Like,
Yes.
I get, like, just do both.
To pay your dues.
Yeah.
they kind of did an interesting job of having Ice Cube and Dr. Dre come in at the beginning of the trailer. It wasn't even a
The
part of the
trailer had an
movie.
intro.
Yeah, the trailer had like a minute-long intro that
The
was...
movie's that good.
Yeah.
It's going to be that good.
And Paul Giamatti looks great as their manager,
Oh, yeah.
Paul Giamatti looks great in any role.
except Rhino, maybe.
That movie didn't happen.
Okay. Are we adding that to the list of
Yeah,
things that didn't-
that's no longer
along
canon.
with that Crystal Skull
I don't know what you're talking
nightmare?
about.
That okay,
I don't
got
know what
it.
you're talking
Oh,
about.
Kingdom of Broken Dreams?
Yes, that one. Yeah. But yeah, Paul Giamatti looks really cool as the manager. I mean, this is the second time he's kind of played a music manager. The other one was Rock of Ages, and
it's kind of the same thing.
yeah,
Just,
to a
he,
degree.
like,
maybe a little more sleazy.
he corrupts the
Yeah.
lead guy and
Mhm.
takes him solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the
essentially the
character.
same thing.
It's
Yeah.
the same character. It's actually in the same universe.
But instead of Tom Cruise, you have Eazy-E.
There you go. Isaac, have you seen Straight Up Compton?
I did not.
Taryn, did you watch it?
I just recently
Okay.
watched
What'd
it.
you're not a rap guy. at
Yeah,
all.
see, I'm like, I'll be flat out honest. I lived a very protective childhood,
Right,
so while
yeah.
all of that was going on, like in the trailer, they had the town meeting of this is unacceptable. Like my family would have been very much on that side, so I had no idea of of this culture and stuff when it was
Right.
occurring.
Dude, it's
so.
never too late to give Straight Outta Compton a listen.
Oh no! Like I'm not
It's a
saying
great
anything,
album.
I'm not saying anything against it. I'm
No.
just saying I'm coming from this having no prior experience
Oh,
with
okay.
it.
But does it interest you as someone that's not even coming from it?
Yeah, I mean I like movies that give that look back on that objective view of no, there was more to the situation than what one side or what the media was portraying.
Because it's an interesting time for it to come out because of all the Ferguson events
Because,
and
yeah,
things.
we're,
Yeah.
we're racially tense right now in America.
There's a lot of cop crime going on.
And that whole trailer ended with F the police.
Yeah.
It's like-
It was like, here's what we think about that, and go.
yeah, it was, yeah.
I think it's definitely going to have a lot of controversy surrounding it as we get
Definitely.
closer and closer to its
Yes.
release, which is only going to help
Right.
people see it more.
Right.
And
gonna-
Ice Cube's son
And-
plays Ice Cube.
So
So it
that would be,
works.
there was nothing really showing his acting range yet, but we'll see once we get closer to release, probably.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm pretty familiar with NWA as a group in the story. So
I mean, if you're emulating your dad, are you really acting?
That's true.
It's like- I would think all of us could probably play our dads pretty well.
Yeah.
Although-
I couldn't. There's no
Although,
way.
if he does a poor job, will he get grounded and stuff?
Ice Cube sitting offset, man, son, that was whack. Get into your room, and it's just
Nick,
like that.
were you just racist?
I was doing an Ice Cube impression. I was not
You're
doing a
an
black
Isaac impression.
Oh.
Did you two swat Freaky Friday today?
Maybe.
Oh, that fine line we toe.
That's how Ice Cube acts.
That's
Let's
true.
not
That's
even
true.
pretend for a second
I-
that was even.
Ice Cube he overdoes it for sure.
He overdoes everything, and that's because he feels he needs to. It's like I had this family friendly career for a little bit. Now I feel like I have to become Ice Cube again.
Yeah.
Like the whole.
Wait, we're not getting a "Are You There Yet" trilogy? Or "Are We There Yet" trilogy?
I hope not.
I'm a huge fan of the Friday trilogy.
But we need a.
I adore those films.
Yeah.
Actually, they're guilty pleasures. I will pop those in all the
Why,
time.
why do you feel guilty about that?
I don't know. Because I feel like you're not supposed to have that on your shelf. If
'Cause
you're
you're
just like a
white?
white dude from Oklahoma, you're not supposed to have the Friday Blu-rays out. But I do.
Here's my collection. And please take note of the Friday collection.
Superhero movies Friday. No.
Friday, and then there's Friday the 13th. That series really took a big jump.
And then 41 copies of Click.
I actually saw that movie for the first time a year ago. I didn't really like it. It was sad.
Yeah. The ending, you're like, oh gosh.
Right in the seals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So our next one on the list of trailers is Hitman. Is trying a quick reboot here. It has Rupert Everett. Corey immediately kind of shot it down the second he watched it.
It just looked over the top, like the way
Yeah.
he like kicks a table, a gun shoots up, and he just like undoes his hand. It's too over the top.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm still just like really like holding on to the post Dark Knight. Everything should be realistic and gritty world.
This is the director Alexander. His first foray into filmmaking, or his first movie, because he has nothing else to his credit at the time.
Oh, okay.
So there's a little hint for you right there. So.
I think this dude looks better for the role than Timothy Oliphant.
It's one of those
Nothing
things.
to say against him, though.
Just watching the trailer, it kind of upsets me because it's like this guy definitely is a really good choice for the character, but it appears as though the movie around him is just utter over the top.
But that's the same reason I don't like the Fast and Furious movies. Is they're too over the top. They're just so unreality based. Like even the preview for the new one, they drive out of one skyscraper into another. It just looks that wouldn't happen.
Right.
If you got out of that first one, you're just gonna plummet, and die. But those movies make bank because there's still a huge theater going audience that's like, hey, I'm coming to the movies to suspend disbelief,
Yeah.
So you don't know. Maybe they were driving really, really fast.
Maybe,
and maybe they were furious while they were doing it.
So I mean, it could be a great movie. By the end of the trailer, I was like, I even said out loud, I might see this.
You're right. Yeah, just for
it might just be that good. I might just want to go see it over the top.
However, they did steal a line in the trailer from
Oh,
watching.
that was sad.
And that whole scenario was kind of ridiculous because it's not like he has a gun. He has a machine gun on the table.
It's like a sniper rifle.
Yeah, he's just like...
it's for shooting people, if you've seen American Snipers, from shooting people from very far away. They had a sniper rifle on the table, like 2 feet away. And he's looking at the scope. I'm like, that dude would see, like, you can see black right now. Like
Exactly. But I misquoted earlier. It's not Rupert Everett. It's Rupert Friend or Friend or something.
I was confused. I was like, Rupert Everett.
He's British, so it could be pronounced differently.
Little British and a little old.
Yeah.
I don't even know who he is.
But
so.
he's known for Homeland, the TV show. I don't think any of us really watched that. And then he's been on Pride and Prejudice.
Ooh.
And The Young Victorious, a lot of Victorian era pieces.
So he's British.
So he's like the Keira Knightley.
He is the most British you can get.
Yeah, they got a really
Rupert.
British. Yeah, Rupert. That's a pretty.
There's no American ever named Rupert.
Rupert Murdoch. Boom.
Who's Rupert Murdoch?
Oh!
Tommy, do you want?
I know who that is.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not going.
Let him Google it for himself.
Yeah, Google it.
Why?
Boy.
I have to?
Yeah.
Should we wait?
He's like the most American you can get.
We got time.
we got time.
I don't have.
I mean,
Isaac doesn't have time.
I can even cut this if necessary.
It's true.
Probably won't. Every time I say I will, I don't.
Do you want me to go ahead and then we'll wait for your
It's just some
reaction?
old dude.
He kind of owns all of TV.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
Why? I don't know why I'm supposed to know that. Just some old.
You know who Ted Turner is, but you don't.
anyway,
Ted Turner's important.
Rupert Murdoch is important.
Oh, okay.
But the last trailer that came out this week was Man from U.N.C.L.E. It's being directed
U.N.C.L.E. Come on.
U.N.C.
Say it right.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
No, it's Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Okay.
Yeah,
because why is there dots?
It's like
it
MASH.
does, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you know.
No, that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Do you even know what it stands for?
Not even sort of superhero.
Intelligence, lucky,
Strategic
dudes.
Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division.
The S.H. doesn't stand for superhero?
No.
What a complete oversight.
superhero,
Intelligence.
lucky
Strategic
dude.
Homeland Intervention
Lucky
Enforcement Logistics Division.
That just sounds like they really wanted to spell out S.H.I.E.L.D.
They make that joke in the very first episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes. Yeah.
Boom! Rupert Murdoch, born in Melbourne, Australia, not American. You guys are stupid.
No.
Well,
Australian, which is almost British.
It's more American than British.
Okay. Anyways, I just wanted to not be the stupid guy in the room anymore.
So, Man from U.N.C.L.E, or U.N.C.L.E. as Corey prefers it, it stars Henry Cavill, also known as the new Superman. And he has an American accent. I know he's British, so he has it's a very interesting American accent. It's not the Superman like I'm just a regular Kansas boy. It's almost like a gangster kind of voice.
Well, it's a period piece.
Yeah.
You know,
it's in the 60s? Yeah.
60s or 70s.
60s or 70s. And also stars our favorite Lone Ranger, Armie Hammer.
Who was almost Batman once.
Who was, yes, almost Batman.
Your favorite.
Or
Lone Ranger.
Okay.
So in some world, it's a Batman-Superman movie.
Right.
Before
Batman Superman.
Superman.
Exactly. And Armie is a Russian, so that just makes it more interesting. But it also has Hugh Grant in it in some supporting role. So
I did not see him in the trailer.
He was like a flash. It was like right at the end. I was like, "Is that Hugh Grant?"
I hope he's a villain.
Hopefully, he's a villain in real life. Because of the whole hooker.
Oh yeah, because he likes hookers.
Right. Exactly. Because society looks down on hookers.
Oh, then we look at him as a broken man, not a bad man.
No, I'm just taking the Fox News route of it. So.
Oh, okay.
Just assuming things.
So, who all watched the trailer?
I did.
Did you guys?
I didn't care.
Did you find it interesting?
Not at all.
No.
Not even in the slightest.
Really? Why not?
I don't care for those kinds of movies.
Meaning
the spy thriller. I like James Bond, and that's kind of the only exception to that rule.
I don't know.
I mean, of course November Man being that.
I'm kind of the exact opposite. Like, I like spy thrillers. I don't like James Bond. James Bond's sort of like drawn out and dry to me.
This explains so much about you and Tommy right now.
Oh, there's like 50 different topics where we are like the exact opposite.
Yeah. I thought it was. I mean, it's that 50s or 60s kind of period piece, and it has a vibe of like Catch Me If You Can kind of going for it. Yeah. So I'm interested in it. So.
Isaac, why are you standing?
I have to be gone.
Isaac has to go.
Oh, what a fun running theme for every podcast.
This will be the last time.
Isaac will get to be with us full time from now on.
Hey, bring us a pizza.
Maybe you will if you guys order it.
What do you think we're doing right now?
yeah, we want the pizza.
What do you want me to do? Call 1-800-GIVE-ME-PIZZA?
Yes.
Yo! Hey, anyways.
I was going to just say, for the whole casting thing with Indiana Jones, I'm totally fine with Chris Pratt.
Okay.
I'm down with that. And then I thought for Belle...
Spoilers, dude.
Spoilers. But anyway.
Belle's already been cast.
She has?
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say Natalie Portman.
Well, no.
It's Emma Watson.
Oh, bad.
So.
And I thought what would be fun for Gaston is if it was John Stamos.
Just completely spoiling everything.
Okay, anyways, go away.
I'll try to piece this. Just
take those segments and put it in later.
Like, remind me when we get to those topics. Like, and here's Isaac's take.
Bye, Isaac.
Bye.
Would Isaac's take be the fifth take?
Tommy. Anyway, so check this out. The guy, what is it? The man from U.N.C.L.E. Is that the name? Man or guy?
Uncle.
Man.
The man
from UNC, directed by Guy Ritchie.
As soon as I read the title, I knew it was some crap 50s, 60s, possibly 80s show reboot. So I immediately was over it because there are things like Happy Days, the Andy Griffith Show, Gilligan's Island, which I think is getting a movie, but haven't been made yet. Great movies that should be made if we're going to rehash things and reboot things.
What would you make an Andy Griffith movie?
Just a great
Aren't you afraid that
town?
Judd Apatow is going to get a hold of it and just turn it into...
ruin it? Yes, that would be awful.
Yeah, that's my problem with a lot of those shows. Like, they're too, like...
classy.
They've already ruined
classy.
21 Jump Street. That should have never been touched.
But this isn't The Man from U.N.C.L.E. also supposed to be like a funnier movie and they made it kind of serious?
I mean, it had like comedy elements. I mean, it was like just a TV show. Like, it ran alongside shows like MASH. So I mean, of course,
like Smarter Get Smart.
Yeah, it was Smarter Get Smart.
Smarter.
That's
I would
pretty much
kill for a Welcome Back Kotter, a Green Acres movie.
Oh, I'd love a Welcome Back Kotter movie.
Right?
That'd be great.
I'm gonna pitch that.
John Travolta isn't too old.
He could play Mr. Kotter! Oh, man, that'd be awesome. Okay, anyways, moving on. Yeah, I didn't see that trailer. Okay. I just knew I wouldn't like it. I'm not even a James Bond fan, so, like, I don't like spy movies.
Why does nobody like James Bond?
I like James. I don't know. I mean, it explains a lot about those two.
I like Moonraker.
Oh!
Moonraker is my favorite James Bond movie.
Get out. Leave.
I like GoldenEye 64.
It's James Bond in space with lasers. Not the best.
Corey makes a valid point.
Tommy might have a heart attack soon.
And it's
these
the
people
best
are
Bond,
killing me.
Roger Moore.
You take that back right now.
Go back to the bottom of our page and see us argue about this a year ago.
Right, yes.
On video.
Yes.
I'll try to find the link.
But
buried.
So we've kind of discussed trailers. Let's move into some other big news this week. We've already discussed this a lot last week. Was
big news?
Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah!
Spider-Man is officially joined the Marvel Universe to an extent.
Kind of.
He will be shared between Fox.
Sony's willing to share.
Yes.
Didn't we call it?
Yeah, we called it.
Yeah.
pretty much.
This was our idea.
Yeah.
Sony and Marvel, not
Yes.
Fox. Fox.
North
is not
Korea
Fox.
hacked us
Thank you. Yeah,
somehow,
sorry.
and things leaked.
Yeah, things happened. Producers got fired, and now Spider-Man's. So actually, we should thank Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un is a huge Spider-Man
He's a hero.
fan.
So he's going to fix this.
I, for one, welcome our new Korean overlord.
Tommy, why are you standing up?
Well, maybe because my jacket is
Oh,
weird.
I thought we were all going to get up and leave, like
Just get
slowly,
up and
and
just
have silence.
The end.
But
we already talked about all the possibilities and what they should do.
let me ask this: does anyone know the details of how they're sharing
The
ownership
way
of
it works
Spider-Man?
is that he is allowed to be a part of
the MCU, the Marvel
the MCU,
Cinematic Universe.
and
He can appear as like a supporting character in any of those movies.
But is Sony still responsible for making the Spider-Man standalone movies?
Yes.
Marvel gets no say in those.
I think like Kevin Feige is gonna like have work alongside the producers.
Okay. Because if I'm Sony and they're giving me a deal where they're also going to write my Spider-Man movies, but I get to distribute them and bank off them, yeah. All for it.
Nick!
Nick!
But yes, Marvel will be introducing the new Spider-Man.
Cool.
Yeah. So does this officially mean the end of the Andrew Garfield
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Yes.
movies?
He's
Yes,
out.
they're
Okay.
saying
He's
it's
out.
done.
they are actually taking him back to high school. And I don't think they're going to do the origin story. It's just that he will be a young teenager.
We don't need another Spider-Man
No.
origin
Well,
story.
we're not because it's because the Spider-Man standalone's being put after Civil War, so
Right.
naturally Civil War will probably be our introduction of Spider-Man.
Because we've had two in this generation.
So
of
it'll
film
already
alone.
be he's already an active superhero. It looks
Good.
like.
Right.
And we may see him before Civil War.
He
like
might be
a cameo or something.
or one after the credits.
Yeah,
scene.
this could easily be like a little tidbit thing in Age of Ultron.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Because it's
yeah.
not too late to make a quick. Because they did that with
Yeah.
the final scene.
Which means they got to cast someone quick.
Well, last I had heard, this was like last week, right before the Spider-Man news broke, they hadn't even filmed the after credits scene yet. So it's entirely possible.
you know who they should cast just for this one after credit scene? Because we're probably just gonna see him in costume. Rey Mysterio Jr.
Okay.
He's made a living out of being in a mask.
That's
so.
true. Well, speaking of casting,
619.
Rey Mysterio Jr. was a stunt double for Freddy Krueger in Jason vs. Freddy. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That is
So
a
he's
fun
already
fact.
got some work.
but who
The paperwork has gone through.
Just kind of going around the table here. I'll start with you, Taryn. Who would you cast as a teenage Spider-Man? And now keep in mind, we don't have to pick a high school kid. We can pick a 20-something that will play.
No high school kid has played a high school kid
since
Happy Days.
Okay, so to explain this, my brother-in-law, now he's from England, and he came here to live. He's a mechanic, autopilot. He came to one of the high school football games and saw the cheerleaders, and turns to my sister and his now wife and goes, "Is there a middle school game? I thought this was a high school game." Because that's how old, what he's used to on TV is the cheerleaders looking like they're 20-something.
Yeah.
So, but anyhow, go ahead, Darren.
Personally, I think we should go with an unknown.
An unknown, okay.
Just because I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
There's that kind of area right now is very shallow.
I mean, let's be honest.
In
We
terms
had
of depth for finding someone.
Jonah Hill, Emma Stone. They've been playing high schoolers for like a decade.
Yeah, we got to find some new ones.
We got to find some newer people younger than them to play high school people, because I don't think we can. While I'm sure there's a demographic for people who want to see like Channing Tatum be Spider-Man, I don't think that's going to work.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Right.
He
So
could play Eddie Brock.
yeah,
I can see that.
but I think we should go with an unknown, if just for the point of when we have the reveal of who Spider-Man is, we're all like, I don't know that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, because when you think about it, it's like, the point of the reveal isn't, oh, that's Peter Parker, he works at the Daily Bugle. It's, that's a kid. To kind of explain real quick for anyone that wasn't listening last week, we talked about the idea of Spider-Man being revealed in the next movie in the Marvel Universe without anyone knowing.
No hype, nothing.
No hype, nothing. Just the buy-in to the movie is you'll find out who Spider-Man is.
Yeah. Like, everyone will go see that movie first night.
Yeah.
Because they know, like, an hour after it happens.
Yeah, so I'll have to shut down
every internet, you know, so...
All kinds of...
You would have the biggest
records.
Possible...
Midnight
release. Showing ever.
Yeah. I mean, we would even go, even though we've had terrible...
Marketing would be just nuts. Like
just the shot of Spider-Man just pulling the mask off.
If you could somehow
Iron
keep
Man
that
and
secret,
Captain America.
Oh my gosh.
We would probably just like take a projector person at a movie theater hostage just to see it from the booth. Of, like,
I might like puke if like they do that. Like if they're getting to that scene, like I might throw up.
I can't handle it.
Corey, who would you cast as Spider-Man?
I don't know. I think it's such a weird, like it's almost such a role now that's like so. I think everyone lives in fear of it because no one, like, the hate's been there for everyone.
Well, so the same with Batman. It's like, who wanted to fill Christian Bale's shoes or Michael Keaton's shoes?
Yeah,
Val Kilmer's shoes.
Or Val Kilmer's shoes.
No, that's not one. I mean, I think Michael Keaton did well, but I think Michael Keaton got better with age.
Yeah.
Like, we go back and watch it and go, man, Michael Keaton was a fantastic Batman. Because I think we had Val Kilmer, who wasn't a terrible Batman, but we also had George Clooney, who was an awful, great Bruce Wayne, great Bruce Wayne, horrible Batman.
Could you have done a film with an actor playing Bruce Wayne and an actor playing Batman?
Probably.
You could have got away with it.
Yeah.
I mean that's what
kind of like what Birdman is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's the Lerman kid that's like Lerman. What's his name?
Logan Lerman.
Yeah, he's like from Perks of Being a Wallflower, and he's made a lot of good movies.
Yeah, he was what my pick is going to be. I mean, that's who I would choose.
He would be a solid one because he's got a lot of good acting range. And then there's the kid from Maze Runner, Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah.
Kinda. He's probably the more like safe choice just because he's cute. Or whatnot.
Oh my god!
Yeah, like you're gonna do that, but at the same time, it's kind of like my question is who gets to cast this, Sony or Marvel?
I think Marvel.
Because if Sony gets to cast it, we're gonna get
screwed,
the prettiest dude possible, and we're not gonna really care any acting depth. If Marvel does it, we're gonna actually probably get an interesting choice.
Sony is like the movie version of CW. Just cast a bunch of hot people and. That's all you really need.
And who knows? You know what Marvel might do? They might just cast Miles Teller just to piss off Fox.
That's true.
And say like, hey, we're going to put your Mr. Fantastic in Spider-Man.
We'll see which one he stays with.
Yeah. Like, which would suck because I don't think he'd be a very good Spider-Man at all. No. I'm not really on the Miles Teller train like everyone else. I actually see a lot of also the potential of kind of a no-name. Or at least just someone
not ultra famous.
Yeah, not ultra famous. And if it was a perfect world and I didn't have to do like a high school guy, I think Adam Brody.
Okay.
Because he still looks really young, but he's not going to look high school young. Wouldn't. I think he would have been a great Spider-Man.
He could have been.
For a while, he was going to be Flash.
Yeah, I remember when they were trying to make Justice League initially.
Yeah, and I think he would have been a fantastic Spider-Man if he'd been given the shot back then.
Yeah.
And I'm always a Topher Grace guy. But it's not.
The time has passed. Yeah.
He was Venom. Still looks great, but he was Venom. So.
Tommy.
Marvel could do that just to like screw with Sony.
That would be fun too. I like that.
Well, like Corey brought him up, but Logan Lerman, who was in Fury and Noah and Perks of Being a Wallflower, as well as the Percy Jackson series.
Which is good because he's got fan bases all over.
Yeah.
That's a big spectrum of just when you name his films.
He's done a good job of
teen heartthrob.
Yeah, he's not just Percy Jackson. He's not just that kid that was in the serious movie. Because that's the thing I'm thinking. I'm like,
he's a pretty solid actor.
Yeah,
and I mean, if we are going with a high school,
it works.
Peter Parker, he would fit the role well. But yeah, I mean, that's my main choice. But if we weren't doing high school Peter Parker and we actually went with an older Peter Parker, which I think that's what I think we should do. I think that'd be a better route because we've already seen high school Peter Parker twice.
I think the reason, my logic of why they would probably do that is because they have so many actors that are being played by 30-somethings and such. All their heroes are actually getting older. And so
they need someone younger. And I definitely understand that.
And he's going to have to be British. That's where we're at right now. We have to give all iconic American.
Let me look up British young actors real quick.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is not.
So,
that's true.
But he was before the craze came in. So.
Yeah.
But if we did go with like an older Peter Parker, I would choose Justin Chatwin.
What's he off of?
He was in Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about.
The kid that played Goku?
Yeah. Did you just troll?
I think he just trolled us. Oh, God.
Yeah, he was also on Shameless on Showtime.
Now, look him up. He's got a solid track record other than that movie.
Other than that bomb of a movie that...
Okay, it's a track record that has a nuclear bomb in it.
Look at... Oh, all right, well, I mean, you can't really blame... his faulty career choice, on him.
Yeah. I mean, people do need work, but at the same time, like, you got to make some personal decisions.
Well, look at Shia LaBeouf.
Why not cast the other Social Network half and just do Jesse Eisenberg and then take a shot at DC?
Or if they weren't doing a younger Spider-Man, Justin Timberlake.
I absolutely love that idea. That'd be a great idea.
Justin Timberlake in his prime would have been a great Spider-Man.
Okay, if they did Justin Timberlake as an adult Spider-Man, like the demographic for Marvel movies skyrockets with every 90s girl. That
includes some he has in his contract. They have to dance at some point,
and then we get a good
Spider-Man 3 all over again.
And we're like, no emo clothes though.
Yeah,
and you can beatbox while you do it.
He's bringing Spidey back.
Hey, that scene gets so much hate, but that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie. Just like the dance scene.
They should do what we say and not promote it. Keep it under wraps, like keep people held hostage at gunpoint so this doesn't leak.
Pull a Cloverfield.
And then the unmasking, and it's Tobey Maguire.
Yes!
And they're like, that's the canon we're going with.
All for it.
Those movies count.
I'm so in. 100%.
Oh,
I would sell my soul.
I would sell my soul just to be in the theater when and just everybody go, what?
And you jump up, you're like, yes!
Just Tommy's like, yeah!
But that would make the Marvel Cinematic Universe like 10 years older automatically.
Yeah.
Oh no, even older than that because of Blade. Because Thomas Jane appeared in Spider-Man 2, which was the Punisher at the time. And he also appeared in Blade Trinity.
Okay.
And
he did?
Yeah.
When was he in Spider-Man 2?
He was just like walking a passerby.
So Marvel could retroactively bring in all of their older
I would be so
films.
Down for Wesley Snipes and Tom Jane to come back as those characters.
Oh, absolutely.
Tom Jane was just, again, kind of like the Hitman movie. Right guy, wrong movie. And
there's a YouTube short film where
he
reprises the role, and it's
Dirty Laundry.
It's stupid.
Right. And Ron Perlman is in it.
Yeah, Ron Perlman's in it. What about I don't know. I haven't seen him do anything serious at all, and I kind of don't like him. But Dave Franco,
he might be able to do it. I mean,
to be giving the guy a shot at not playing an idiot, stupid teenager in a movie.
I think,
and also his brother played Harry Osborn.
Yeah, I was thinking, about James, and I thought, wait, there's a younger Franco.
He just always comes off as kind of the snarky kind of guy.
Yeah,
that's kind of who Peter Parker is.
Which kind of is who Peter Parker is. So
Dave may not be the worst choice.
May not be the worst.
Because Dave Franco's the kind of guy that I see and I go, when he stops taking these typecast roles, he might
do something
a contender in Hollywood.
Right.
You
Yeah,
just
like-
got to stop making these stupid.
Well, what's that
teen
movie
comedies.
coming out with Vince Vaughn?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just another looks like crap for him doing the same crap.
Yeah.
Just
Because the thing is, we have to figure out if he's really just feeding off of his brother's fame, or if he actually is capable of doing things beyond.
Hold his own.
like if the Franco blood is just
Mhm.
all Prodigy blood,
Right.
and he's as crazy as James is.
Yeah. My thing, I really don't know either. I think the Logan Lerman guy, because he's the only real young guy that I know, other than like a Zac Efron, who
Isn't really that young.
isn't really that young. And my thing is, I just hope, and I think that because Marvel, if they're the ones in charge of casting him, I think hopefully they'll make a smart kind of casting choice rather than Sony being like, well, this guy's good looking, because then you've got, just all these pretty boys from like Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and
Biebs.
Yeah, or Biebs.
Get just a Bieber in there.
Oh gosh,
If Bieber is Spider-Man, we riot.
we will riot. Like, I'll lead that front.
What if he nails it?
No,
I'm still rioting.
Yeah, we'll still be like, this is terrible.
we
Why would you
we
do
may not
this?
go all the way over to DC, but we're not going to be happy with Marvel.
But yeah, as long as they don't just go for someone who's super popular in terms of, if they can find somebody that fits the character again, and that's just, I think that's just a general
And
thing.
if Marvel cast, you can look at they do pretty unconventional casting.
Right.
They kind of resurrected Robert Downey Jr. and they Chris Hemsworth has made a name for himself
off of
since.
Thor
Yeah.
movie,
Hiddleston
then-
kind of same thing.
and then Captain America's Pine, while Chris Evans, excuse me,
Kirk as Captain America.
Well, Chris Pine could be a good superhero too.
He would.
But Chris Evans, really wasn't on anybody's radar until he hopped up on Captain America after the Fantastic Four movies, and then
Which
he was a great.
Well, he was
Johnny
just kind
Storm.
he was just kind of a teen
Yeah.
guy who was coming out of I'm not able to do these teen comedy roles
Yeah.
anymore.
which
So-
He was in not another teen movie.
Nick, would you like to mention that we watched the original
We did. We watched the original
1994 Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie?
Not as bad.
Not as bad as
It's
Roger Corman made it?
yeah.
How did they license something like that out to the king of B movies?
Go ahead.
Well, the studio never had any intention of ever releasing it. They were just about to lose the rights to the movie, so they just forced this movie out.
And they said Roger Corman can make a movie in
Because
10
it's
days.
it's
Yeah,
a
pretty
90s
much.
movie that looks like it's from the 80s.
And if it had been released in the 80s, it would have been fucking
if
great.
Roger Corman makes a movie now, it looks like it's made in the 80s.
Right, which is exactly what it looked like. But
But it wasn't that bad.
if you go in with that mindset of like, okay, this movie was, low end 80s style thing, I could totally see that.
There's
being
nothing
popular.
wrong with Roger Corman. He's actually brilliant at what he does.
It wasn't particular. Like there were some cheesy jokes, but they were done well. I
Yeah.
thought it
And-
wasn't like, it wasn't groaning. It was just like, oh, I see what you did there. Okay.
Yeah, music was pretty solid.
Yeah, the music. I think the music they pulled from like their library of like material, and they're just because there was some Lost World, Jurassic Park sounding stuff at certain points, and it would jump over here to like the quirky bad guys.
But the casting, they got all of the characters right.
Yeah, the
Okay.
characters
And,
are pretty good too.
All of them were good.
Mm-hmm.
So this was all their shot. It just didn't. It just
Yeah,
it's
it's
real
like
short.
I feel really bad for the
10 years
actors.
too
Yeah, imagine being cast. This is your big break. Like, oh, I'm playing Mr.
I mean,
Fantastic.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic. And then, oh, by the way, we're not releasing that.
If
That
I
was
walked
just
on
a-
set and saw Roger Corman, I would have immediately gone, crap. I'm excited to work with this dude. He's a legend in B movies, but crap.
But yeah, that's what I think. If Marvel ever gets the rights back to the Fantastic Four, they should use the actors from that version. Just say this is canon.
It had. I'm pretty sure that the guy that played Johnny Storm was from that Disney movie. Was it Not Quite Human?
I don't.
I'll have to look that up later. But it was. But anyway, I'd seen him from somewhere else before he was lost in time after like 1996, I guess.
I don't think IMDb recognizes this. Okay, it does. It totally exists.
It's a real thing. So since we're talking about casting, so we kind of discussed Spider-Man. Last week we also talked about.
It's Jay Underwood.
Yeah.
That plays Johnny. Dude, he was in Uncle Buck.
Is that what he's from?
He's Uncle Buck. Nice. Okay.
Wait, no.
John Candy's
Uncle
Buck.
Buck.
No, I'm talking about, but Jay Underwood is in Uncle Buck.
Okay,
He's
but
one
you
of
said,
the kids.
You said he is Uncle Buck.
No, I
I'm
mean
like,
just saying he's
We
in
were like,
Uncle Buck.
No, that's you're wrong.
He plays Buck.
But speaking of Uncle Buck, they're making a TV show out of that.
Wait, what?
Yes, they're
Really?
making an Uncle Buck TV show.
Because TV has to do TV shows of every movie.
Well,
Right.
Parenthood.
Yeah.
And what?
Great Steve Martin movie. Fantastic Steve Martin movie. But that's what it's based off of. Has absolutely nothing to do with the actual characters in the movie. It's just the concept.
Yeah.
So it can work.
Mm-hmm.
Parenthood's the most. Have you ever watched it?
No.
Have you ever watched
No.
it? Oh, it's okay. I only care about y'all. No offense. Have you ever watched it? Well, no. I just realized that you do. You've done camera work. Have you ever watched it?
No, I have not.
It is the most infuriating show with cameras.
Really?
It's like they zoom in, they zoom out, it moves. It has no purpose. It's just. I noticed it one time, and my mom used to love that show, and I brought it up, and she won't watch it now.
That's
Because it is. It's just like once it's like the glass broke.
once you know how movies are made, like
it just
everything
ends
bothers
out.
you.
It pans weird. It's just like film students, like freshmen, are like getting like.
opportunities. Yeah,
It's like Joel Dameron. He's like 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 on our bully video, we found out he was like it's like he was playing with the camera during the shots. Like do this after we say action, but it's just like Joel had a new toy, forgot we were filming. He's like, oh, zoom, and zoom out.
Nick, how much of this am I supposed to edit?
No, it's just Joel. It's just that's Joel Dameron. He sometimes gets distracted and like plays with things. And it's not like
Okay.
I'm saying he's
Let's
horrible.
get-
I'm just
Let's
gonna
get-
leave it in.
Terrence, let's get back on track. I don't think there's anything you really have to wipe out here, but anyway, you're fine.
Love you,
Moving on.
Joel.
We'll go back around the table. Since we're talking about certain casting things, I thought it'd be fun to kind of quickly go through some other noteworthy things that are being casted right now. Indiana Jones. We
somewhat talked about this.
know Chris Pratt's the lead-in. We talked about Bradley Cooper being a good replacement.
You also-
I was big on that. We discussed it.
I think Bradley Cooper was originally the guy
The rumored
that they
guy.
wanted to hand it to.
They
and
also-
then
there
Chris
was-
Pratt did well. And
Yeah.
they're like, ugh,
Oh, maybe him.
He's younger.
And they also had a rumor about, it's died now, he's claimed it's not happening, but Robert Pattinson was wanting to be Indiana Jones.
That might not have
It
sucked.
wouldn't have been terrible, because he's
a good actor. He just got in a bad role.
yeah, he's ever since then he's like, I have to like
Bad role.
I have to
That
earn
role
my
made him
earn
all
my
the
acting
money.
credits back in all these like small movies that are
Done
coming
in
out.
that?
Yeah.
Can I have a piece?
No.
Why not?
Because you didn't care about my opinion.
No, I did care at the end. By the end, remember, I cared.
Denied.
Nope.
Corey has been
Man, I
denied
really want some gum.
some double mint Wrigley's from Tommy. So, okay, tell me who you think would be a great Indiana Jones. If you do think Chris Pratt, give me the reasons why.
I do think Chris Pratt would make a good one, because just from what I've seen of the Jurassic World trailer, and if Jurassic World comes out and proves me wrong, I'll gladly take this back.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen of that trailer, he is showing that he can play a more serious role.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he's going to have a good amount of jokes and stuff in the film, because, he's Chris Pratt. You can't really not have him throw in some sort of humor.
Yeah.
But I think that would make a good Indiana Jones film. Like, you have a few jokes laid out, but you still have a somewhat serious actor taking the role as it needs to be taken.
Yeah.
So I don't see a problem with Chris Pratt being Indy. That being said, I'm not necessarily in the fan club for it. If there's another option that comes up on the table, let's see how that plays.
Mm-hmm. If not Chris Pratt, who?
I don't know.
Okay, Corey,
Come back to me. I'm thinking.
Tommy.
Wyatt Russell.
Who?
Kurt Russell's son.
I thought his name was Ryder.
No, Wyatt.
What has he done?
22 Jump Street.
Yeah,
I
he was in
think?
21.
Oh, he was the
22.
other football player.
Yeah.
Okay.
He also has a couple of other movies under his belt, like a couple of horror
That is
movies.
a left field choice.
He was in Cowboys and Aliens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, Harrison Ford and Kurt Russell are very similar actors.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Kurt Russell was up for the role of Han Solo, right?
Yes.
So it would only make sense that cast a similar type. And I have faith in the Russell gene to be able to carry this series.
Okay. All right. Corey?
I don't think genes often carry on. But, maybe.
There's not an acting gene.
I don't think so. Colin Hanks hasn't done anything.
Orange County was great.
That was
That
Jack
was it.
Black.
And then that was it. And Jack Black, yeah, it was mostly that movie. I don't know.
I'll tell you, I think we had brought his name up earlier, but the more I thought about it, if not Bradley Cooper, which would be my number one choice, I would not be mad at all about Carl Urban finally getting a shot at a franchise.
We brought him up the last time we talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
He would be a good one, and it's because he's not. Here's the problem you have with Chris Pratt and Bradley Cooper, to my knowledge. Bradley Cooper, he's now 3 straight Oscar nominations in a row. Bradley Cooper's career is now whatever Bradley Cooper wants to do. If he wants to do it, then he'll do it. But he doesn't need this.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, I don't want to hire him if I'm like in charge of because he's franchised out now.
Yeah.
Like I have to now work around Marvel.
Right.
And possibly if Jurassic Park keeps doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like I got to work around them now to make my indie movies. So I don't know that that's beneficial to cast either of those dudes because they're gonna do whatever they want at this point, and I'd rather have some dude like Carl Urban that's not franchised out.
That can be associated with that role.
Yeah, and he can make it his own. It's I'm not like I don't have to ride off of the guy that was in Guardians and the guy that was in
You guys do realize that Carl Urban is in a franchise.
Yeah, he's Bones.
But he's not like the leading man of that franchise.
I would argue otherwise.
What are we talking about?
He was in the Star Trek movies.
He's the
doctor. I thought you said Bones like the TV show.
But
that doesn't count.
Dr. McCoy.
Because he tried to jump into franchise as Judge Dredd, but that series has yet to take off for a sequel. People are begging for it.
Because you can't outdo Stallone.
So.
No, you can't.
There's a reason we're not remaking Rambo movies.
Under these conditions...
We're just making more until Stallone drops dead.
Under these conditions of someone who's not in a franchise, but who might be able to play... If I throw out the name Ryder Strong, does anyone know who I'm talking about?
It sounds familiar.
Are you talking about from Boy Meets World?
Sean Hunter from Boy Meets World.
So Corey,
he's too much of a pretty boy.
I do not look like that guy.
Kind of. There's a vibe there. Maybe.
You kind of.
Not. It's not twins, but there's
cousins.
Yeah, cousins.
I'm way prettier than this. I always Google it when you'll say it. It almost offends me. I am prettier. Oh my gosh, John Stamos. John Stamos could be Indiana Jones. It'd be fantastic.
Could be, but he's getting old.
He doesn't look old, Nick. Don't lie to yourself.
He doesn't look old, but it's because of all that yogurt he eats.
He looks my age. Oh, he can grow some stubble.
Well, since we're talking about young '90s icons,
since we're talking about yogurt,
what about our everyone's favorite head guy from Saved by the Bell?
Belding?
Not Bell.
Have you seen the shape he's in?
Not Jimmy.
Jimmy Fallon?
Mark Paul Glasser.
Mark Paul Glasser.
He would probably be a solid. He's always stuck to TV though, so I don't know if he's confident in himself as a film actor.
Or
the
maybe
only
he just
film I know of is Dead Man on Campus.
You're talking about a guy who had to turn to the camera weekly and deliver monologues.
This is true. It's true. He just doesn't see confidence in himself to be a film actor because he's never done it. And he's another dude that has not really aged.
Well, really, the only one that ever tried film acting was Elizabeth Berkley, and we all saw
George Clooney.
No,
we all saw
from
too much.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, we all saw too much, Nick.
I disagree, but anyway.
The Kelly, she tried a little bit, didn't stick.
Not quite.
AC Slater's he just
hosts
things
stuff. He's training to be LL Cool J's successor. So hopefully we'll watch him decapitate LL Cool J and take over the Grammys after this. So.
Is the Oscars tonight?
No.
Oh, okay. It's like, are we missing the Oscars?
Is it next week?
Yeah, it's next week.
Okay, well, we gotta get ready for that.
Yeah.
Gotta catch up on all our...
For a second, I was like, crap, are we supposed to be watching the Oscars?
Should we be doing something?
Are we gonna have our playoff podcast?
I guess that's next week.
That's next week. It's the playoff podcast.
Where's the playoff podcast?
When we
the Oscar podcast playoffs.
Oh man, what a great idea! I forgot about those.
next week.
Honestly, Mark Paul Glasser, he looks like a good Indiana Jones. I wouldn't hate it.
He's because he's naturally a brunette.
Now, hold on. Are they doing like a younger Indiana Jones, or
Yes.
are they like
I think
trying to keep it an old dude?
I think their idea is to make it.
Is he still going to be a college professor?
That one guy,
yes.
River Phoenix.
Oh yeah, that guy. He's dead.
Man, he's also franchised, but he's just recently franchised into Marvel.
Yeah.
Aaron something.
Aaron
Johnson. Quicksilver.
Okay.
Would be a decent Indiana.
Okay.
He'd be a decent indie. But he's kind of a franchise killer at this point.
Because he was nothing really in Godzilla.
No, he's just one of those weird actors.
He was great
that
in
like
Kick-Ass,
can play
and
like
then he fell apart in Godzilla.
young dude and can play an old dude at the same time.
I think Age of Ultron will be the sort of
Deciding
barometer on.
I would
whether
say
or not.
no, but
Okay.
to each his own. But,
whatever. And I still stand by Jason Sudeikis. I feel like Jason Sudeikis
you know?
could stand outside of like making vulgar comedies and stretch his acting ability and do well.
It would be a left field choice, but I would say I'll see what happens if he was cast as Indiana Jones.
I feel like if you gave Jason Sudeikis like, say, hey, like, dude, we're trying to pull you out of
listen,
like this thing you're like stuck in, which is just making vulgar comedy after vulgar comedy. Which by all means, if that's where you like to be, because you're a marketable movie star in those. But if you want a shot at doing this franchise and actually having some,
He'd probably have to hit the weights a little bit, not too much.
because
Just a
see,
little bit.
Starkiller, is that his name? Star-Lord.
Starkiller
Starkiller
is the
that's
first
Darth's,
name for
like,
Luke Skywalker before
Darth,
they changed it.
yeah, and that's like Darth's
And now
apprentice,
it's
isn't
yeah.
it? Well, like Star-Lord, if that role had been like even somewhat pop culturally iconic, if it wasn't like a D like superhero, people would have been upset. Chris Pratt,
Yeah.
because they only knew him from Parks and Rec
Yeah.
and stuff like that. People would have been upset, but he showed an ability to still be comedic but action hero at the same time. I think Jason Sudeikis could do the same thing given the role. I think he could put on the muscle and be a solid indie.
Skeet Ulrich.
Who?
Skeet Ulrich, he's kind of like a 90s heartthrob, but he never made his great movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Scream. Killer from Scream.
Okay.
Sorry, spoilers if you've never seen Scream.
What?
It's only been out for like 20 years.
Yeah, so it's past.
Wait, the one who was Shaggy in the
No, that's
movies?
Matthew Lillard,
Okay.
who's great at everything. He would be a great Indiana Jones.
I want a third Scooby-Doo movie.
You know, what about Brendan Fraser from the Mummy series?
At the
It'd be
time,
great.
that would be
Yeah,
great.
because he essentially was the Indiana Jones of that movie.
Hey, how about Kevin Sorbo? Let's resurrect his career.
Let's just pull everybody from the 90s and say, come on out.
Well, that's where we like to live.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Well, let's jump forward to the next category. I'm going to go with
decade.
to the next decade. Beauty and the Beast is being adapted into a live-action movie. We all know it's Corey's favorite Disney movie.
It's one of my favorite movies.
One of his favorite movies, so that's very high praise.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a great movie.
We already know that Emma Watson will be playing Belle. I think we're all pretty good
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
I mean, she's British instead of French, but
Yeah.
okay.
Aha! She holds French citizenship. She was
I
born in
stand
France.
corrected then.
Touche.
She was born in France.
I concede to your point.
And what I've read is that they are actually keeping it pretty close. Unlike some of the other adaptations, they're actually going to
They're
stay
keeping it to Disney's
and they
Disney
have
lore.
They're going to keep it close to
the animated.
yeah, and including keeping the songs from the Broadway musical and the movie.
Oh, okay.
So-
Awesome.
We are guests.
Because there's rumors of Emma Thompson wanting to play Mrs. Potts, and then there's she was the creator. She played the creator of Mary Poppins in Saving Mr. Banks from last year, and then she's been in many other movies past then. But
Saving Mr. Banks or Mrs. Banks?
Mr. Banks,
Mr. Banks.
Mr. Banks.
Okay.
Elizabeth Banks is Mrs. Banks.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And then there's a rumor, and I think it's just a rumor because he doesn't seem like the kind of person that's even interested in franchises. But Ryan Gosling
This isn't
for
really
the
a
Beast.
franchise. They're not going to make another Beauty and the
But
Beast.
it's a big.
We're not going to make the live action
it's like
Christmas
big box
sequel.
office-y Disney thing.
Totally should, though.
Ryan Gosling is just like, no thanks. I'm gonna go do Drive and small film stuff.
I would hate to see Ryan Gosling in this role. I would.
I
just say it right now, I'd hate it. I'd be so mad.
He's not right for it. I love Ryan Gosling. I love Drive, and I've loved all the movies that he's done with Nicholas Winding Refn. But each to each his own. Tommy disagrees, but no, I don't think he's right for it. But who would you guys cast as the Beast? I'll start with Tommy this time.
Oh, starting with Tommy.
Yes, we'll start with Tommy.
I have no idea.
No idea.
No.
Let me think. Hold on.
Let me throw out a name to kind of get the conversation started. Tom Hardy.
He's like 5'6".
Yeah, he's a shorty.
But here's the thing. He's playing the Beast, so he's going to be... if either they're going to CGI...
No!
Andy Serkis.
Or they're going to
Prosthetics.
put a lot of prosthetics and stuff. So they could make him taller. And he's such a kind of guy that... I mean, just from what we saw with his physical actions in Bane...
Yeah, he did
And Bronson.
And because he's burly enough and Warrior and all these movies, he's willing to change, and it's not just I'm a human. He manifests himself into that character. So I think he would be an excellent choice to play the Beast because he can come off, he can be the big burly Beast, and then when we have the transformation at the end, he's still good looking enough to pull off. Yeah, I was a prince. I was this.
Okay, how about Liam Neeson plays Beast and does the voice?
Okay.
But then at the end, whenever he transforms, we get someone else to play.
That's not a bad idea.
Not a terrible idea. Not a terrible idea.
No, it's not a terrible idea. I have good ideas, Nick. Maybe you should listen to me.
Just because you made a good decision about lunch today to go to Long John Silver's.
Oh, you went to Long John Silver's?
We did.
Tommy said, hey, let's go to Long John Silver's.
I love Long John Silver's.
With this podcast brought to you by Long John Silver's.
This podcast wants to be brought by Long John.
Please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us. We love fish.
We've already tried to sponsor Long John Silver's and Spearmint.
I actually eat chicken. Chicken.
Okay.
Long John Silver's.
Their chicken's really
But
good.
fantastic.
since we're not talking about chicken and food, give me some other thoughts on the Beast.
I'm really racking my brain here. I mean, that's an interesting idea to do it.
Because it really does come down to, okay, are they going to do prosthetics? Are they going to...
They really got... Disney, go back and listen to our praise of Into the Woods and just do that again. Just redo Into the Woods. Practical effects, practical stuff, and do not make this like the rest of your crap like that. No Maleficent, no Alice. I don't want to be overly CGI'd. I love Beating the Beast, and I don't want to see it.
Well, the French film,
Yes,
the Beauty and the Beast, came out in the 60s,
Yeah, it was a
late
good
50s. They did it it was very much practical effects. As they weren't.
Was it kind of Wolfman-ish?
Yeah,
Dude,
it was
let's
almost
do
Wolfman.
Ron Perlman as the Beast.
Already been done.
I know. Let's redo it.
When did that come out? I can't.
That was 1990 or
The show Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
early '90s, late '80s.
I mean, yeah.
It doesn't have to be the exact. He doesn't have to look like a lion.
Yeah, I mean, in the French film, it was very much just the actor, and then at the end, he doesn't have to look good. So
if you want some franchise Viagra, you know who to call.
Ron Perlman,
The Rock.
The Rock. I'd hate it.
It would be terrible. It would be
now.
Stone
flip
Cold.
that around. What about Gaston? The Rock is
The
Gaston.
Rock would be a great Gaston. Actually, that's actually a pretty decent choice.
Even though he's Samoan and he's not French at all, but
not even almost French.
just lock him in a room for 6 months, but get him real white.
He's technically black.
So
I mean, WWE only acknowledges that he's black in February,
Yeah.
but that's
it.
He is technically half.
I think part of our problem with this is that we don't, what nationality are we sort of going for? Because the story is French, our lead actress is predominantly British. Do you go with an American prince? Do you go with a British prince? Do you go with a French prince?
Well, the Gaston in the movie, the accents lean more British, but they're not, obviously British,
Yeah.
I think.
And, it is being made for an American audience.
Yeah.
No,
So they could really
Disney's
go...
never been one to
It doesn't have to be-
care too much about accents.
Yeah, they don't really have to be British by any means.
I'm racking my brain real bad for this.
I think that would be the only thing that... Because The Rock, he would be because he is a Samoan Gaston to an
It's
extent.
Disney. They already have Johnny Depp working on their studio lot somewhere.
You can't buff up Johnny Depp and give him a foot of height and just be like...
They did it to... What's his name? Hardy.
True.
He's shorter than I am,
Yeah.
but he looks huge.
I don't know for who I would want for Beast, but Nathan Fillion wouldn't make the worst Gaston.
He was
Get your
essentially
Firefly family
No,
crap
no,
out of here.
not because of Firefly.
Not because of Firefly.
Dr. Horrible sing-along blog. He plays Captain Hammer,
which
who's
is essentially
Gaston.
Yeah, he is really good in that.
That's
that is Gaston.
Because you gotta have that.
One of my favorite characters.
Gotta have that over the top, like
I'm such a good guy.
I'm awesome kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, then we get the Miz.
Then we get the Miz from wrestling.
The Miz plays.
I think my favorite part, or my favorite thing about Beauty and the Beast and how Disney did it, is that there was no set villain the whole movie. Because Disney actually has their own brand, Disney villains. Gaston is not recognized.
He's not?
As a Disney villain.
Really?
He's not.
I
He's
thought
not
he
in
was.
any of the calendars. Nothing. I've played Disney villain Monopoly. He is not
Because
considered.
I recently, you go through YouTube, you stumble upon things. I stumbled upon like somebody's footage of them being at Disney World or something, and they had like this villains show that was going on, and he was there.
Oh well,
So,
most of the things
which
I've
is
seen in
interesting.
terms of.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying
I dated a girl obsessed with Disney for like 3 years,
Right.
and we had villain stuff that I never saw, and I always got mad that
he wasn't
never
in it.
saw Gaston considered.
Gaston isn't a villain.
He's not. He's just obsessed and in love, and I've always considered Beast to be the predominant villain.
Well, look at it because our
Guys,
friend
we're going to have an entire podcast over this.
It's okay. But think about our friend Rowdy, who was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. He made a very interesting point. Gaston is the only quote unquote villain who had an arc.
Mm-hmm.
He went from being kind of the full of himself machismo town hero into being the guy who's trying to get the Beast wiped out for his own personal needs and stuff. So he starts off not bad, just arrogant, and then slowly his plans become devious and very greedy and stuff. And it's kind of like him and the Beast just cross each other because Beast is more villainous at the beginning, and then at the end he's the good guy.
Yeah. Although Gaston has by far the best villain song in the entire Disney pantheon.
He has one of there are. I mean, we could have a whole discussion about that. We probably will down the road.
On what our favorite Disney song is.
Our favorite Disney song, favorite Disney villain. We'll bring those up.
Charlie Hunnam
As Beast or Gaston?
No, it's Beast.
As Beast?
Charlie Hunnam would be a good Beast.
He would be.
And he's British,
Yeah.
actually. He's actually British.
I could see that.
He's a big
I could see
dude.
that. Yeah.
Got good acting range.
Why don't we get the other Hemsworth?
No. We on this podcast we're really pro Chris, not as pro Liam. Liam has not proved himself yet.
Well, this could be the movie that proves him.
Yeah, I would rather. Let's prove something
I would
else
say
that
Chris
I
Hemsworth
don't consider
before
so close
Liam.
to my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, Liam's been in 3 Hunger Games movies, and you have to watch for him because he's not highlighted in those films at all.
Because he's a bad actor. But anyway, I would say Chris Hemsworth wouldn't be that would be like them going.
But he's already
right.
He is so franchised out.
Mm-hmm.
He's already done Snow
Well,
White.
he's franchised out by the same company.
Right.
That's true.
Because it would be an easy pull for them.
That's
hey,
true.
Marvel, all that money we gave you to make whatever you wanted, we need Chris Hemsworth for this movie.
He wouldn't be a bad one. I think
He could be a great Gaston, too, if he wanted to play against type.
Ooh.
That'd be a good.
He's both.
Exactly.
Well, in the French film, that's what it was.
Yeah.
The guy that played Gaston was the Beast.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And at the end of the movie, whenever it's revealed that he turns back to human, he looks exactly like Gaston did, and that's the big conflict that Belle faces at the end of the movie. It's
Because you had said that Gaston was a Disney creation. Was that correct?
I believe so. I don't.
Is he
I've
not
read
a
the
part
actual.
of the original fairy tale?
he was in the French film.
Okay.
I mean, not by the name Gaston,
but there was
this
this.
Another love
character.
interest, but I
Okay.
think the character of Gaston and how we know him and see him is a Disney creation.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Because the actual fairy tales are very, very different.
Yeah.
Very different.
Which is par for the course for Disney.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I really can't think of much for Beast, and it's again, it might just because it's too close to my heart in terms of I really adore that story and stuff.
And what we haven't even considered at this moment in time is if they're keeping all the singing and songs, can any of these actors sing?
Liam Neeson most certainly can.
Oh,
he has a beautiful singing voice.
Hugh Jackman.
Okay,
Gaston.
Either.
Both,
dude.
Because
Triple duty. You're the Prince or the Beast or Gaston.
And this way, we also get Wolverine in a Marvel movie.
Technically,
yes.
In very, very technical sense.
This gets
He already
Jackman
is
close to Disney, and they start winding it down, and I'm like, hey, you should go back to Fox and, or Sony, remember?
There's a fight scene between Beast and Gaston where whoever Hugh Jackman is playing, come on!
Yeah, that'd be a hard fight scene
to
film.
But true, because he's proven he can be the kind of angsty Wolverine, and then he's proven he can be the, gallant hero type. As
and
well.
the dude can sing.
And the dude can sing.
So now you could throw Hugh Jackman at Gaston. If we went your route, which isn't a bad route, you could have The Rock just be the Beast, because he barely sings.
Yeah.
There's a Broadway song that's from the play.
Crap.
Yeah, wasn't there before.
And they might bring
that
in.
Wasn't there before in there. But he just sings a little
and that's
bit.
it. So they might bring in, depending on who they cast, I imagine, if they have somebody that can sing, because The Rock can sing, actually.
Can he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
He does a lot of segments where he sings when he was in wrestling. But, they could train him.
Well, and who's to say they don't use someone else to sing
they
on
could,
the soundtrack?
Andy Serkis could sing or something, doing the CGI suit.
Dude, if we could get, 90s Brad Pitt back,
we're trying to kill the 90s, Corey.
I'm just saying, you get River Runs Through It, Brad Pitt. That's a beast right there, and a sexy one.
This podcast brought to you by Brad Pitt.
90s Brad Pitt.
But 90s Brad Pitt.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a tough one. Too many factors go into it to come down to it. We don't know if it's CGI. We don't know if it's CGI.
Okay, since we jumped into,
but
since we're kind of in Being the Beast for a moment, are there any of their particular favorite characters from the movie that you were like, this person could play them pretty well?
Well,
there's LeFou could be Zach Galifianakis, Jack Black type actor to come in and do it.
Yeah. How about Cogsworth?
No, LeFou.
Gaston's
sidekick.
Oh!
Lumiere also.
Lumiere.
But Cogsworth.
Well, like I said, I've always wanted Liam Neeson as the Beast. I've always that's been my mental image.
Okay.
That could work.
You could definitely do the
but it would have to be,
and then when he transformed back,
different casting for the Prince.
Yeah.
Just Darth Vader. Do you have an actor in a suit? Do you have someone else doing the voice?
It's just rare to do these days.
Right. Yeah. Then nowadays they want everybody to do the whole thing. But yeah, that'd be definitely interesting.
Disney owns Star Wars now, so
why not?
Why don't they just go back to the well?
Once
we
more.
own Star Wars. Let's just get Peter Mayhew while he's still kicking in there. The actor that played Chewbacca.
No, we get Chewbacca is the Beast. We just bring him over from another universe.
Okay. Peter Mayhew wins his Oscar for Best Song.
Done entirely in Wookiee.
In the Wookiee
voice. At the Oscars, that's how we should accept an Oscar. It's just entirely in Wookiee.
But yeah.
And you could always go no name.
It's true. You could do a lot of...
I would be okay with no name.
I would
almost be more okay with no name for Beast than anything.
They could do a lot of British actors that we haven't heard of.
No, what's that?
They always do that.
Then let's send an American over to take a British role.
Right.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. took Sherlock Holmes.
That's true.
And that is kind of like the only major character anyone cares about.
Everybody gets one.
Just to piss off Great Britain, we somehow force an American Doctor Who.
Whoa.
What?
Hey.
Whoa.
Hey, quiet out there.
Podcasting up.
So anyway, let's move on.
Ladies and Robs in the background.
We're discussing the Beauty and the Beast. What are your thoughts so far on all these Disney adaptations for live action?
I haven't seen them. I haven't watched Maleficent yet.
No.
I don't know my feelings on Cinderella.
Cinderella looks like a very straightforward kind of retelling with not with the song. I don't think the songs are part of it.
Now I did watch Snow White and the Huntsman, and I know that's not Disney. Disney didn't do that one,
right?
It was okay, and it was nice for them to draw a little more from the
Grimm stories.
The Grimm storyline. I don't really see the point of this. I don't see why Disney.
This was a point that was brought up to me. It's especially when we watched the Cinderella trailer, I looked at it and I go, what's the point? This is the exact same story. There's no real spin that we've got going on here. This could be, something that came out on DVD or something, like they did the Roger and Hammerstein's version with Brandy back in the day.
Yeah.
But my point was that, now, if you really think about it, how many kids growing up now are likely to watch the old Cinderella?
Most.
Well, it's one of those things like we see Cinderella as this classic, as it absolutely is.
Yeah.
But a current kid sees that style of animation, or sees that it's done in 4:3,
or that it's just old,
and they don't inherently see the value of it. It's going to take a while for them to realize, oh, this is actually really good, rather than just, oh, this is like, we grew up where that was just the norm.
People showed, when you raised your kids, it was like, watch Snow White, watch Pinocchio, watch Dumbo, watch this, and I don't feel like that's the same vibe as much anymore.
No.
But you're right. It's like, well, most people probably do still show Cinderella, but the question is whether it still connects as much.
Well, I mean, like, the only way I could see it being a good thing to do all of this is, I think you might have mentioned it, like, with the way they did Maleficent. They tried to tell the story more from the villain's side.
I think that was Disney really trying to push, like, a Disney villain's line.
And,
which they really should.
Which, if they do it that way, then it should be more tuned to adults rather than children.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, give a actual, almost realistic take. Not, I mean, obviously we're talking about Disney fantasy, but a realistic, for adults to really enjoy this adult story.
It feels like it's in between the original animated movie and Ever After, the Drew Barrymore movie,
which isn't a bad film.
It's not a bad place to be, because if you're drawing inspiration from both of those, you're not gonna tread too much water in terms of originality, but it could come off as something that they can make a lot of money off of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, since I haven't watched Maleficent, or Cinderella's not even out yet, I can't really judge the future of this franchise.
I saw Maleficent, and I understand where a lot of people are coming from who have problems with that film. I think it's better than what some of those reviews give it. It's just one of those things that when you're taking a beloved storyline that we all know and you're inherently changing parts of it, like Maleficent did. I mean, they flat out took parts of Sleeping Beauty that were nowhere close to being in the animated version of Sleeping Beauty. I think that's the big part that didn't sit well. But with Cinderella looking like it's trying to stay as close as it can, it might be a different story this time around.
I think you could have a successful Disney villains franchise, but instead of making it the events from their viewpoint, maybe just do origin stories for a lot of them. Most time you're just introduced to the villain and they're already a villain.
Yeah.
Like, it might be interesting why Captain Hook is Captain Hook and how he got to Neverland.
Yeah.
And also, it might be interesting to see, like, Cruella de Vil, where she might have been a decent person and gone to a horrible person. Things like that.
Yeah.
Just expanding the mythology.
And honestly, it's maybe best for animated straight-to-DVD movies than making high-budget DVD movies, because I don't know if you're going to be able to break even on a villain's franchise. Right. Not very many people sympathize with the villain. Especially when you're talking about children's villains. None of them sympathize. I was a weird kid. I sympathized with the villain, but I was a rarity.
And the thing is that, like, yes, no one's the villain of their own story, so making Maleficent a hero character in her own film makes sense, but at the same time, like, these are villains that we've known for decades to be villains, and to, like, suddenly give them, like, this is what actually happened, like all of her wrongdoing and evil was justified because of the events of her past.
It's like if we'd made a Adolf Hitler origins, and we realize, he was bullied by a Jewish kid in middle school.
Not to that extent, but
yeah. No, I get it. But even
What
past...
does that say when there's an actual human being that's worse than villains of our fiction?
Now, what are we talking about? Like
we're just talking about all the
live
adaptations.
action?
You know, there was Maleficent, there's Cinderella right now. They're making Jungle Book in a year, which is Disney, and it's also kind of like Beauty and the Beast is going to feature songs, including the bare necessities from the...
technically, Into the Woods is just a live-action adaptation of a theatrical.
Technically, yeah.
So.
Even though it wasn't an original Disney movie, but yes, it is. Yeah. They're leaning hard towards these. And even Cinderella seems pretty straightforward, but I don't know how different the live-action Jungle Book's going to be, especially if it's like Beauty and the Beast, where they're like, we're keeping the songs and stuff. Like Bill Murray's playing Baloo, and there's two different versions. There's one being made by Warner Brothers, and it's Jungle Book Origins.
That's going to be our double of this year?
Yeah, this is going to be the double one next year. You know, Ben Kingsley's Bagheera, and Scarlett Johansson is Ka, and then I believe I just
go back to that last one.
Ben Kingsley is
Scarlett
Bagheera.
Johansson is Ka the snake.
That's terrible. That's awful.
And then Idris Elba is going to be Shere Khan.
That's fantastic.
Because the other one I believe has Benedict Cumberbatch as Shere Khan.
Idris Elba would be a great beast.
Yeah.
Idris Elba is great. Let's just give him all of the roles.
I think. Well, I mean, it's Disney. They wanted to kill their animation department years ago. They was the movie about cows or something was their
Home on the Range.
And then they did a couple more. I know they did the Princess. They did Princess and the Frog.
And nobody
Meet the Robinsons.
It didn't.
Well, yeah,
2D.
Yeah, 2D. But and then it just seems like they've wanted all animation to go through Pixar now.
Mm-hmm. Other than Frozen.
Frozen
all
and
of their
Tangled,
Disney, because there's a Disney line of like Disney released animated movies.
Is Pixar still owned by Disney?
Yes,
Yeah.
but they're a separate entity from them.
And like even though Wreck-It Ralph is 3D animation, it's a Disney creation, not Pixar.
And it's part of that Disney animated catalog.
Where does Brave fall? Is Brave?
It's Pixar.
So
well, I think
then Merida should not be a Disney princess. Boom.
We will have that discussion in the Disney episode.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, the thing is, I think that they definitely don't want to take these beloved 2D things from that classic animation period and try to make computer
3D,
and
yeah.
get people because
That's not going to work
you just
at all.
killed all the nostalgia. You killed
Right.
every reason for me to go see this. It's just so I think their only other option to make money off these old things they own is live action.
Because now they can do that because of technology.
But but for me, it's always going to be with these types of films, physical effects versus limited CGI.
Yeah.
I think it's way better to do physical effects than CGI.
Which is kind of hilarious when you think about it, because all the effects in the animated weren't like they were just drawn in.
Yeah. So
like
I that's why I'm not huge on the live action stuff. It's usually just heavy green screen CGI is all it ever is.
Okay.
So that's me. That's why I don't necessarily.
So with all that in mind, I mean, are you looking forward to the new Beauty and the Beast?
Ish. Again, that's one of my favorite films, animated or otherwise. Yeah. So it's and anytime you find out something's going to get remade or something like that you really like if someone came out tomorrow and said we're remaking Little Shop of Horrors, I'd be like, you guys are stupid. Because that's just a great film, and it doesn't need to be touched.
Well, they keep doing that, so I mean, it's money.
So I'm excited about it because I think Watson's a solid casting, but I'd have to hear more. I need to know.
We're just in the early stages. Is there a particular Disney film, animated movie that you guys would like to see turned into live action?
Black Cauldron.
Black Cauldron
would be a good one.
Especially if they want to jump in, fill that hole that's been vacated by Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings stories.
Yeah. I have one in mind.
That would never happen, Black Cauldron.
Yeah.
They don't even like to acknowledge it's a thing.
Right.
I have one, but whether or not it should get made is definitely not the same thing. Mm-hmm. Aladdin.
I think the biggest hurdle.
You see, just now you poke Nick's heart. See, that's
my
his
favorite.
Beauty
Yeah.
and the Beast.
Yeah.
See, Nick just went he got scared when he said it. He was like, "Whoa!"
Because I was thinking the same thing, and
there's one key thing of this film that
Robin Williams is dead. Don't do it.
Yeah,
it's no
A, and B, and the more important, but it could do well internationally, but you probably would get a lot of backlash if you don't cast Aladdin and Jasmine Altham as Middle Eastern descent.
Yeah.
And how many of those are there? How many of those are?
How many Middle Easterns?
How many well-known A-lister or up-on-the-rise actors from India that we know about? Not the ones from Bollywood.
I don't think
that's the thing is they kind of.
Why did you point it at me when you said that?
They have their own thing. I mean, that's what Britain needs to get their own Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
Do your own movies.
It's called the BBC.
They spend all of their money on Doctor Who, so
and
I think you'd definitely experience that. I mean, they're already mad about that always comes up all the time. Johnny Depp got cast as Tonto, and everyone but Native Americans were mad about it.
Because they were all like...
They threw him a parade down the street here in Oklahoma.
He came out and hung out with them, and they were like, yeah, you're cool, because you've got some Native American descent. We're not mad about it. So they even gave him a Native American name. Which tribe was it that he visited? Do you guys remember?
Lawton. It's, what is Lawton?
I don't know.
I
only care about my tribe. I think
you, the one that's Native American.
It's the tribe that Tonto.
Hey, I'm Native American.
I think it's the tribe that Tonto is.
Okay.
Which I'm Cherokee, and so is Johnny Depp, I think. I think he's Cherokee. Okay. So, he had Native American blood. I don't know why people got all mad about it.
Because he's not a complete...
Because people have to be upset about something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's like you put one person in blackface for a movie, and everybody gets mad.
But look at The Prince of Persia movie with Jake Gyllenhaal that came out several years ago.
Did people get mad about that?
They got mad about that. They got mad that he wasn't... that he wasn't of Middle Eastern descent.
They weren't mad that it's just all around terrible film?
Well, that too.
No.
That was after the fact.
Oh, okay.
The Last Airbender got a lot of flack, but then that was eclipsed by the fact that it was one of the worst movies ever made.
Mm-hmm. So I think the two biggest issues is the racial problem, and then also the fact that poor Robin Williams could have reprised his role.
The thing with Robin Williams' role is we could technically still...
Don't you say it.
There's
replaceable.
No. There's a week's worth of unused Aladdin audio role that Robin Williams did. It's why the movie didn't get a Best Screenwriting Oscar, because Robin Williams did so much ad-lib.
It's true.
You could go to those archives. You could pull things and have Robin Williams do the voice again.
Now, was there any backlash when Justwin was Goku in Dragon Ball Z?
Once again, terrible film eclipses the fact.
Oh, okay.
Just the sight of the trailer told that was when
they fail hard at it, no one gets mad.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Because then they could be like, well, that's why, because you didn't cast somebody as that. But since it's been brought up, here's my thing about Dragon Ball Z. You're talking about an anime thing.
Evolution.
I'm talking about Dragon Ball Z. Okay, that film is on the list of things that needs to go away.
Nerdy up in here.
Yeah, I'm allowing us to step into fandom for one moment to make this point that will go into our conversation.
I'm home.
Now, Aladdin, the characters, they look of Middle Eastern descent. Mm-hmm. When I look at Dragon Ball Z and I look at Goku and I look at Vegeta, the main characters of the anime, they don't look Asian to me. They look like white people. I'm just going to say it. That's not me being racist. That's just an observation. And
that's you not being racist. That's you being racist.
That's
saying that you're not being racist makes you...
Then fine, I'm racist because for me it looks like they're white, okay?
I could give you that, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't mind if Krillin was an Asian character, if Yamcha was even an Asian character, even though he looks white. But Goku and them, they appear Asian. They're physical features.
Not to mention, in the storyline, they're not even from Asia.
Exactly. So
where are they from?
It would make more sense.
Planet Vegeta.
It would make more sense for Goku to be a white, being raised in an Asian culture, to be that fish out of water, just like kind of Superman. Except Superman happened to land in America.
Or Russia.
If you look at Red Sun. Which they should adapt.
I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z. So.
But that's just my point. I'm just trying to touch upon the animation of it. Stepping back out of that.
No, you're so close.
Get away. But that's my point, is that you really would have that issue. Because, with Beauty and the Beast, you can get away with that. Oh, she's not completely French. Well, they weren't completely French in the animated movie. I could see them probably attempting Little Mermaid at some point. I could see them attempting... Oh,
that's like my other great one.
I don't know if they would dare to do it, but Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
Dude, Mermaid would be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do that. That's like underwater filming.
Yeah.
You have to get that hair and stuff. I don't know, man. That one's difficult.
Not to mention, there's some guy hard at work at Disney trying to figure out how to make Lion King work.
I don't think that...
he's ripping his hair out trying
unless
to
they...
I've seen it. It's called Hamlet. It has Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Disney producing Hamlet. Let's do it.
And they did. It was The Lion King.
Yeah.
No, I mean a live action.
Oh.
Live action Lion King is going to be like... What do
but
we do?
That's the same argument you can make about Robin Hood. It's like, yeah, it'd be great if they attempted a live action Robin Hood. I mean, it's been done a million times, but they could.
But I want the fox. I want to be fox.
Exactly. Because let's be real honest, he's the best Robin Hood.
Yes.
Well,
Kevin Costner is the second, but no.
I was going to say
one.
Carrie Elvis.
Or Aaron Flynn.
Yeah.
Errol Flynn, excuse me.
Errol Flynn is like the classic.
He's the classic Robin Hood. You know, we grew up watching the Fox Robin Hood, and then there's obviously 90s Kevin Costner.
Robin Hood's an interesting character because has anyone ever just done terrible at it? Because I didn't hate Russell Crowe.
The thing about Russell Crowe, which upset me, was it wasn't Robin Hood.
It wasn't?
By name, it was Robin Hood, but by the character himself and his personality,
no,
it wasn't Robin Hood. It was Gladiator set in medieval times.
I didn't hate that movie.
I didn't hate it either, but it was that was just my big thing. I was like, he's not really. He's
I just hated that the sheriff of Nottingham was like barely in it. That was my thing gripe with
because
it.
originally that story was supposed to be from the sheriff's perspective, and Robin Hood was going to be kind of a villain.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Why didn't we do that movie?
Because Hollywood got scared.
Guys, we could do that movie.
Yeah.
We could. We just go out in the forest and shoot that real quick.
I'm sure I have family somewhere in England that...
I kind of want to backtrack. I feel like I to the casting thing.
Okay,
we forgot one. And it's only because I read an article where I guess... We've talked about it before, like when we were at a show where you could see us.
We're working on that.
Baby steps, Corey. Baby
but
steps.
I saw an article today, and it almost brings up a question of... Because it was obviously, I guess people are getting excited again about this Boba Fett movie. I guess maybe Disney said something like, yeah, we're still doing that. We're still going to do a spin-off Boba Fett movie. So I saw a bunch of articles. You should play Boba Fett. And I read a bunch of... Does it really matter? Are we going to see Boba Fett without his helmet on?
I think that in of itself would cause more drama than whoever they got to play it.
Yeah, it's like, does he ever take his helmet off in the movie?
And
or do we just
that's the problem with making a Boba Fett movie, is that you're like,
he's
why
kind
is
of
he
just
not
awesome, like not just being around, not talking.
You're not marketing a face; you're marketing the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you could make the storyline where Jodo Cast is posing as Boba Fett.
Okay.
And you show him taking off his helmet, and then at the end of the movie, the real Boba Fett comes in, kills him, and says, "You are nowhere near as awesome as I am." Then flies off with his.
Well, I mean,
jetpack.
the main article I read, I hated they were like top 10 people with Boba Fett, and I hated every one of them. They were all old dudes. I don't know why we're casting old. Like Bryan Cranston was like their number one choice, and I'm just get off Breaking Bad. It's done. We're done. Bryan Cranston played a cool character in one show. He's not.
And Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah, and Malcolm in the Middle. And I don't hate Bryan Cranston. I think he's a great actor.
And his
every top
Preparation
10
8
list of who should
commercials.
play who, it's just Bryan Cranston's like number one now.
And Benedict Cumberbatch is second.
Oh gosh.
my thing
probably gonna be Beast.
about Boba Fett is that he would be served better to be like the antagonist of the Han Solo movie.
I think it should be a horror movie. Cast a stuntman in the role. That's it.
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder should be Boba Fett. He's an old guy, and that just kind of goes against what I said. But don't even. Let's make a movie about a guy in a mask that never speaks.
Or it could be a movie where we don't see Boba Fett, and he's kind of in the sense of a horror. He's just this walking presence that connects all this storyline that's going on. And then you have all these other characters, but
sort of like original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a movie that would make. That isn't horror. That would be tied. Maybe a Bourne to a degree where he doesn't really talk.
Like Terminator, you mean?
Well, like where the character just really isn't given the largest amount of depth, but he just kind of
like
he's
Terminator.
a walking.
It's not a lot of depth. It's mainly you're following.
So
Kyle
the girl.
Sarah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So something like that, or like Bourne where he's on the run, but I think. They should just take two of their ideas and make them one, where it's the Han Solo origin story where
I do too.
Boba Fett is chasing him.
I think that they should have the two movies they've announced should be one.
Yeah.
And I think that Boba Fett should have a huge part in it should be a Han Solo origin movie or solo movie. It just his movie.
Just called Solo.
Yes. Solo movie. And it should have, and it's such a deep thing, have him winning the Millennium Falcon, Lando can be in it, all this stuff, but then have Boba being that horror movie presence almost. He's just stalking. He's just popping
You
up.
can base it on the Kessel Run. I
Yeah.
mean,
I think that's how it should go. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm like a huge Boba Fett mark. Like he's by far my favorite
Right.
character
Yes.
of that whole thing. But I'm iffy with him having his own movie, and I didn't think about it until I saw this list and just saw people talking about who should play it. And I was like, none of them. He shouldn't have an actor. He shouldn't be an actor. He should be the mysterious presence that he is.
Jeremy Bullock
still can do it.
We've called one thing that happened in Hollywood. Let's hope for another. Like
Are you saying that Boba Fett should take off his helmet at the end and it should be Spider-Man's mask?
It's Stone Cold. Stone Cold is playing Boba Fett.
Stone Cold can't play everybody.
Yes, he can.
Going against everything that we're talking about.
Stone Cold is playing Spider-Man, playing Boba Fett.
They tied them together.
The universes collide.
We get Patton Oswalt. Start writing this
and
right
we're
now.
falling into fandom.
Anyways.
So that... Is there anything else you want to add to the Boba Fett conversation?
No. It just got brought up in my head.
Well, I think we're pretty much reached our limit here.
Crap.
But I do want, as we wrap up, I want to bring up that today is someone's birthday. Would you like to tell us?
There's two big birthdays.
Two big birthdays.
Caesar Romero.
One of the greatest Jokers.
False. Wait, did you say the greatest?
The greatest Joker.
False. One of the big three, though.
Okay.
And I don't watch Gotham, but I saw they're bringing Joker on already.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, it's a terrible idea.
That should be weighted. That should be slow burn.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Looking for
ratings. I guess ratings are going down, so they're like, Joker! And it's like some redheaded kid. So, Cesar Romero's birthday.
Yes.
The Joker from the Adam West 60 show. And Chris Farley.
Farley.
It's Chris Farley. Gone too soon.
Birthday. Gone too soon.
And we're in SNL 40th year anniversary
tonight,
mode, so it's tonight. It's Sunday.
Yeah,
Sunday
that's what I said.
Live?
That's what I said.
Well, last night they had a clip show.
I guess it's Valentine's Day. That would be a bad...
Are we going to go watch this?
We can.
We should. They also are doing 3 hours, so they needed the extra time.
Favorite Chris Farley movie?
Mine... I mean, it's not a Chris Farley movie, but it's...
What?
He's in it. It's the Madison. Billy Madison, when he's the bus driver.
That doesn't count.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah, Tommy Boy.
I will say it, Tommy Boy.
Or Tommy Boy or Black Sheep, because they're essentially the same.
Black Sheep
they're pretty much
is
the same.
my favorite. Black Sheep is by far better than Tommy Boy. I love it.
I don't know about better, but they're pretty close.
I love
they're pretty
Black
close.
Sheep.
They're the same film.
Do we all know that he almost was Shrek?
He was
Shrek, and
Yeah.
then he died, I guess, in the process of voicing it.
I still stand by that if he was alive today, he'd be in a Meatloaf biopic.
That would have been
he would
incredible.
Nail it. I think it would have taken him to the next level.
That's,
I think Chris Farley.
What's your favorite Chris Farley SNL moment?
Oh, okay.
When he interviewed Paul McCartney.
Okay.
You go, Taryn, if you got one.
I actually have two. I can't choose between the two.
Mine is Man Down by the River, in a van down by the river.
Yeah, that's a good one. My two are Lunch Lady Land.
That is a great one.
Okay.
And the Chippendales.
The Chippendales.
The Chippendales thing, I think I got to go with because Patrick Swayze nailed his side of that.
Well, so did Chris Farley.
No. Well, Chris Farley's expected to. You know, he's on the show. My favorite thing of that is Patrick Swayze's the guest host, and he nails his half of that, and it's just perfect.
Yeah, that is a great one.
It is. It's so good. Everyone performed well on that one, so that's probably my favorite is the Chippendales. Cool. Probably the most known, but it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a shame that we have so many great comedians that fall prey to depression and things like that. You know, we lost Robin Williams last year, and we lost Chris Farley.
I've still not watched the Robin Williams movie.
I haven't yet either.
I can't do it.
I didn't get all the way through Hook.
I watched The Birdcage.
The Birdcage? Okay.
I did.
Okay. Cool.
Baby steps in
baby steps.
Ease into that. We'll save Aladdin for later and Hook and Miss Doubtfire, Jumanji.
And then, not to mention, Where Dreams May
Come.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
That
was the one.
That's on the blacklist. We are never watching that film again.
We're just gonna go home and watch these movies and just cry, because we can't handle it.
What Dreams May Come's one of my favorite movies, and I can't ever watch it again. It's so Did we just end the podcast on a bad note?
We might have.
Did we just kill it?
Yeah, killed it.
Oh, man.
Favorite Robin Williams moment, go.
Oh. Dead Poet Society is by far my favorite Robin Williams movie.
All right, Captain My Captain. Tommy?
Oh, man.
That's a hard one, because he...
That's a very hard one.
He defines the childhood of so many.
His overall, the entire role he played in Insomnia.
Okay.
Because it was his first time
playing a villain. Straight up, yeah.
Yeah, and a serious role. Like, he did that one and
1 Hour Photo,
like, the same year.
Yeah.
So I'd say, his whole role in Insomnia.
Taryn?
It makes me makes me such a baby, but I cry every time that final speech of Mrs. Doubtfire is given.
I thought you were going to say Jack.
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 I thought you were going to say Jack, and Jack's like almost another Blacklist.
I take mine back. I say Jack.
You say Jack.
Jack.
Backseat Mulligan?
Jack is such a good movie.
Robin. There's so many good Robin Williams roles.
Yeah.
Death to Smoochie.
Yeah.
Death to Smoochie, The Birdcage.
The thing about Robin Williams is he brought so much heart into it. You don't see it anymore.
No.
In comedy, you don't see someone bring heart into it as well. And Mrs. Doubtfire.
And that's what made him cross over so well. He was doing... Because his stand-up is so dirty, but then he comes in as a family film, and he treats it like it's an Oscar movie, and you're like... I believe you. Like, and then that scene... I always think of that scene in Jumanji where he's telling those kids about the jungle, and you're like... This guy's seen some stuff. He's been somewhere.
Well, like, Mrs. Doubtfire, it's so comedic, and I remember watching it so much as a kid and just laughing my head off. But then you see it as an adult, and like, this is like a serious film, like with real things like divorce and broken families, and he's nailing it. I feel bad.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, obviously the two that I most associate with him. Obviously, I watched Jumanji a lot growing up, but the two for me was. Hook and Aladdin. Yeah. So I mean,
Hook. Gosh, that's such a.
I mean, we literally said it earlier. It's like you can't. It's almost not quite. Jack Nicholson's not there, but like when they recasted Joker, it's like no, you can't do that. You can't do that. But this is like even like times two of that, and you're like, it's like who honestly would want to or could fill those shoes?
Well, I'm more worried about like who would they get to play Smee.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
Completely jumping
Bob
over
Hoskins.
That, guys.
Yeah, Bob Hoskins also died recently. So
Peter Pan's one of those movies they keep rebooting every 5
the new
years,
one,
and you just can't like Hook did it.
Yeah.
Hook said this is perfect.
They don't want to. The thing about it is, kids from the '90s love Hook. They see for what it is, which is an excellent film, and everybody else that came before, after is like, oh, yeah, that's stupid. I didn't like it. And you're like, shut up.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Leave.
You can leave the room. I don't. This is not where. This is me jumping into the fandom and saying.
Well, my favorite thing about Hook is 2 years ago I realized that was Dustin Hoffman.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
He just now. It's 2 years ago.
Yeah. No, because it was the same thing with me. Like you grow up, and you sit there.
Yes. like you're watching it as an adult, and you're like, holy crap, that is Dustin Hoffman.
And then immediately you're like, give that man an Oscar. Just for being in existence.
Yeah, because for like 15 years I did not know that was you.
No,
I've honestly wondered why did that guy not get another acting role, only to find out it was Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah, there you go. I mean,
really?
Yes.
None of you.
No.
I mean,
oh my God.
The name is on the VHS box, but it's still just like it just doesn't connect, and then it happens, and you go, "Oh my God, it happened." What? No,
he's so good.
That's
why he was Tootsie.
Anyway, so let's wrap it up now. We're a little over normal time,
but we ended it on a good note.
We ended on a good note.
But some of this will be edited out.
Yeah.
No, I'm too lazy now.
Just keep it. Just keep it. If we get in trouble, at least somebody's watching it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week when we do the Oscar playoff. Hopefully, if everyone gets time to watch all the movies and stuff. Make sure to tune in to our 1004 Holds podcast, the podcast of 1004 Holds, as it's aptly called, hosted by Corey, and including a couple of us from Take 5 from time to time. And then watch out for some of our drive backs that we'll be doing more frequently here. And then here at the end of February, look out for the premiere of the episodic version, the uncut and unrated Take 5 the movie.
So it's more like Take 5 the series.
Right, yes.
I think we have
that's
Take 5 the series.
Take 5 the series is what we'll call it. And it's coming out at the end of February, so be on the lookout for that. So we'll catch you guys next time.
Roll, smack, and jack.
Roll, smack, and jack.
How do we not say that's a wrap?